I got one question for you. What are the... Oh. Never mind.
Well, that's why your shoe game.
What are those?
Good evening.
What are those? What are those?
Younger.
What are those?
I got one question for you.
What are those? I got one question for you. What are those? What are those? Officer, I got one question for you. What are those?
You shouldn't have. Yeah, you shouldn't have. I mean, Dad, you really shouldn't have.
What are those?
This guy's so rich, he has a swimming pool in his swimming pool.
What are those?
Kelvin, I got a question for you. What are those?
I got one question for you. What are those? I got one question for you. What are those? What are those?
10:30, I'm like,
What are those?
Obama, I got one question for you.
What are those? What are the...
Dylan, I got one question for you.
What are those?
I gotta ask you something. What?
what are those? We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
What are those?
So kids can call them whenever they have questions.
I've got a question. What are those?
What?
What are those? What are those? I got one question for you. I got one question for you. What are those? What are those? What are those?
Holla at her.
I got one question for you. What are those?
Converse, I really hate Converse.
What are those?
One question for you.
What?
What are those?
I got one question for you.
What is it?
What are those? I got one question for you. What are those? What are those?
I have one question. What are those?
What are those?
Sounds like Scott.
I don't know what's...
What are those?
I got one question for you. What are those?
Adam, I understand you're tying your shoes and everything, but I gotta ask. What are those?
Chad, I got a question for you.
They're vans. They're vans.
Question.
What are those? What are those? I got one question for you. What are those?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions for my report?
Sure. What would you like to know?
What are those?
George, do you like my new shoes?
What are those?
I only got one question for you.
What are those?
Yo, Mike, you looking fresh as shit right now.
Thanks, Barney.
But I got one question for you.
What are those?
What are those?
Hey, Jonah.
Yeah.
What are those? Yo, you is really ugly. Oh, no. Oh, what are you on your face? What?
What's up, man? Postmates, here's Chipotle.
Thanks, I just got one question for you.
What are those? What are those? What are those? What are those?
Icky, I got one question for you. What are those? Bitch!
Yeah, I am wearing my most Japanese shoes.
What are those?
Are you competing for cutest kid right now?
Yes.
I got one question for you. What are those?
One question. What are those?
Yo, check this out. Guess it didn't work.
Later.
Officer, I got one question for you. What are those? What are
You know when you say that you pop your pussy, well, you mean when you pop your fish because, you know, you kind of,
Wiener, I just have one question. What are those?
Austin, I got a question. What are those?
I got one question for you. What are those? Sir, I got one question for you. What are those? What?
I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello, Senor Ugly ass. Then I said, what are those?
What are those?
High heels!
Ballin'. Smitty. Got one question, bro.
What up?
What are those?
Alex. What are those?
I got a question for you. What are those?
Bro, what the fuck are those? Oh, bro.
Officer, I got one question for you. What are those? What are those? I got one question for you. What are those? Officer, I got one question for you. What are those? What are those? I got one question for you. What are those? Officer, I got one question for you. What are those?
Jules, I got a question for you.
What are those? Officer, I got one question for you. What are those? Officer, I got one question for you. What are those? What are the?
Hey, yo, Turtle, I got one question for you.
What are those?
Hey, Dad. I got one question for you.
What are those?
Why would you do that? Hey, Sammy, I got one question. What are those? What are those?
Officer, I got one question for you. What are those?
Officer, I got one question for you. What are those? What are those?
Cooper, I just have one question for you.
What are those?